GPS.
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 Where's our Grammy?
Give it to us.
GPS.
I ain't never won one either, Miley. But now you got one, so it's just me.
Yeah, no, it's just I don't have one either. Lighthouse is going to win next year, though.
It's a great film.
We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And everybody's saying GPS. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Brandon? How we doing?
Good. Weird weekend.
Was it weird weekend? I was just about to say, was it a weird... Dude, the first Sunday without streaming, without any NFL football since September. I had to do a video just to be like, I just need to make sure I'm still sure of myself as a person.
Yeah, it's like, I compare it to...
I hear you.
The detox period you go through after coming off of a drug addiction or alcohol addiction. It's like that first weekend, like all Sunday, you're just like... I feel like I should be doing something. I feel like I should be doing something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the guilt has been insane because I didn't put out a video. Like I just streamed, every day. And I was like, oh man, it's like Thursday. I was like, I didn't put out something Thursday. I just streamed on Friday twice. I'm really starting to slack off now. I'm like, I got to do a video because it feels weird.
It does.
Bro, if that happens, it's bad. Yeah, that's bad. We'll talk about the Jaguars. Don't you worry. And this is when half the audience goes, oh, he says they're going to talk about something, and then they never talk about something. Like how Perna and I remembered to change our titles for what teams are not going to make the playoffs, even though we never talked about it in the last episode. Totally forgot to change the title until this morning.
Yeah. Yep. Last week, our title ended up being very misleading.
Hey, happy birthday. Enjoy the day.
Happy birthday.
Let's go. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about today. We are going to talk about what teams are going to be in trouble. You have Cliff Kingsbury getting hired, was supposed to go to the Raiders, but now going over and signing with the Commanders. And now all the rumors are starting. Are they going to make a play for Caleb Williams? Because, of course, Cliff Kingsbury and Caleb Williams got that connection.
Yeah.
We gonna see.
I want to try and remember where we are currently at with the draft picks. You got Bears, Washington, New England. Three teams that would be stupid outside of the Bears because they actually have an option they would be dumb to not take a QB, right? Washington needs a quarterback. Patriots need a quarterback. And everybody doing their mock drafts are praying one of those teams doesn't take a quarterback so the guy that they want can be got.
Exactly.
But the Bears, with Kingsbury, with Kingsbury going to Washington, and there's the obvious Caleb Williams connection, right? What that opens the door for the Chicago Bears is to swap from 1 to 2.
Which is what I said months ago.
Which is
crazy,
though.
Yes, but that's genius. Get something, right? You could get a premium pick, or at the worst, right? You could get like a second rounder. You could work it. And then you could go get your guy if you want, or you could trade down again. Like there's so many options. I just think for the Bears, the worst thing that they could do is, I guess, I mean, maybe that's exaggerating a little bit. I just don't think they should get rid of Justin Fields right now because they're keeping Eberflus. I've been on that train for a bit. It just doesn't make sense because if Caleb Williams, right, Eberflus doesn't work out this year, which I don't think that he's proven enough. The defense got a little bit better last year, don't get me wrong, but I think that was also because of Montez Sweat coming in.
Yeah.
I don't feel a ton of confidence because then the Bears just doing the same thing that they always do.
Yeah, but I mean, I think like if you're
Mm,
Ryan Poles and you
you don't
believe
want that
Caleb
trade up.
Williams is the next like Josh Allen,
Yeah.
like he's drawn the Mahomes comparisons, he's drawn the Josh Allen comparisons, and it's this last season was really hard to kind of gauge where he's at because their USC's defense was so freaking terrible.
I'm not sure.
And it's just like you're at such an advantage when you're playing at a school of that level. But if you think he's one of those guys, then you just draft him. Just take him at 1. Don't mess around anymore. But if you're Chicago and you do believe in Justin Fields and you go to 2, because you're going to get Washington's second round pick at least, and you're going to get their first round pick next year, then jump to 2. Don't take your quarterback. Take your Marvin Harrison. Just build around him. You're still my girl's favorite hockey. Shout out Kathleen on the YouTube. What?
It's not hockey.
Honky. Oh.
You're I'm favorite hockey? Oh, I've talked about the Avalanche a couple times.
Go Avs.
2-2. Let's go.
Never learned to read, this honky didn't.
So that's the thing about you mentioned Caleb Williams. I mean, yeah, that seems to be also a consensus. You mentioned about Caleb Williams, like if you think he's gonna be the guy, then you just draft him, right?
Yes.
I feel, and this might be my own ignorance bias, like I just don't know because I haven't sunk enough time into Caleb Williams yet. I feel like he is not getting the same kind of coverage that a Joe Burrow got, that a Trevor Lawrence got. I feel like his hype was higher last year.
Yeah, for sure.
And last offseason, and this year, if anything, and through, I'm not even saying a fault of his own. I think there's a lot of fake reports out there. There was a lot that he wanted, ownership, like equity within the team and all this stuff. But I think that he hasn't gotten that level of hype that could justify, like, you know what? No matter what, we're drafting this guy.
Yeah, because it was that stuff, and then the recent ones where he doesn't want to play for the Bears, right? And then like he posted a picture of himself as a kid in a Bear shirt, but like I think he'll play for whoever drafts him, top 3, obviously. But that's what happens every year with the draft, though. It's like which quarterback was the best most recently? Like that's all our brain really has time for. Like who was good just like yesterday? That's the guy who's the best. Unless you're an actual NFL team. And you better be right on your evaluations. Like, I'm working on a video for the Jets today. And it's just like, you guys messed up in your evaluation of Zach Wilson. You had a limited sample size of his play. And you just said, you know what? That's our guy. And you have a head coach who's a defensive guy. But if that defensive guy doesn't understand how to help his organization pick a quarterback, then what's his real value? Like, you got to be good at that. And it's a guess, but don't get it wrong.
But it also just shows, I mean, like the Broncos can relate to this. There's
Every time I watch Josh Allen play, I'm like, could be mine.
You get put in a position where if you are like one of those like middling teams and you get a high draft pick, you're just like desperate. You're like, we got to go get a quarterback because everything is better when you have that quarterback. Now, you can build a really great team in the interim and like in the meantime, and then be like, okay, well, now we have a quarterback. Now we can go, which I think is kind of what the Broncos thought they were doing with Russell Wilson, but that didn't work out. And so now it's whoever is going to draft these guys. It's a total gamble because it's the draft, right? Because you just never know. But yeah, the Bears are in a situation where they can have everything they want, but could also colossally screw this up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
and it's, I think the Bears just draft Caleb Williams and I like Justin Fields. I don't think he's as bad as he gets credit for. I don't know if he can be as good as Bears fans need him to be.
Okay. Brandon, I have a very important question for you.
Oh, God.
It is so it doesn't have to do with Pokemon or anything like that. So I was asked this on Friday night Q&A, and I called.
Oh, is this when you called me?
Yeah, I called you.
I was putting Carmi to bed, and then
He's being a family man.
I was going to call you back after, and then I'd check to see if you're. I bet he's streaming. I was like, I don't want to talk right now.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was asked if you could Freaky Friday with someone, who would it be? Like you switch. So here are my answers, right? And I want to get your right. And then I thought deeply about this. I originally said Taylor Swift because then on the Super Bowl,
So you can
I
get
could be
railed
like,
by Travis Kelce.
no, no. What I would say is go subscribe to Tom Grossi on YouTube, right? Because then it's like a home run.
Sure.
But then Taylor, when they switched back, right? Taylor Swift would be like, well, obviously it's Tom Grossi who switched bodies with me, and now I'm gonna kill him.
Whoa.
Right? So right, I mean, so I'd have to find a way to get around like that. But who would you Freaky Friday with? Because I said you would do Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, pull your pants down and take a dump on the 50 and then walk off the field. That's what I said you would do.
I mean, you just read my mind.
Right, like I said.
But that's for this week only. Like,
yes.
Knowing that I'm going to play in the Super Bowl, then
Yes.
yeah, I Freaky Friday Patty Mahomes.
Yep.
And I set the record for most Super Bowl interceptions.
Mm-mm.
I just toss it to, I give Charvarius Ward an unbreakable record. Former teammate, he gets 3 pick sixes in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Andy Reid can't bench me because I'm Patrick Mahomes, so he got to let me play that whole game. You know, it would also be nice to know what it feels like to
Yes.
Just
7.
have the respect of my teammates like that, and then watch me betray them just for 3.5 hours.
See, that's because I thought I would go and become like the owner. I'd Freaky Friday with the owner of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Make a press conference basically saying, the stadium's killing too many birds. We got to bulldoze it. And we're going to force people to pay all that money, taxpayers, and then attempt to move to Alaska. That's the route I would take. But I thought you would go with Patrick Mahomes. Would you be like the GM in Kansas City and just trade all the great players to Denver?
Trade Mahomes to the Broncos?
Yeah, that could be.
Hey, Sean Payton, got a deal for you.
Yeah.
We'll take Russell Wilson off your hands, and you get Patrick Mahomes straight up. Also, you want Trent McDuffie as well? Well, Jerry Sneed, I'll throw it in.
Yep.
I'm going to burn this bitch down before I leave.
That's what I'm saying.
Also, I'm going to jail because I just committed. Ooh.
And then you said to bitch.
Okay, now I got it. I
Now
do
we're
go as
cooking.
Mahomes, and then I commit
goes
a
Mahomes, you
crime
said?
that puts me in jail. Because then when the Freaky Friday flip-flops,
Switches.
he's still going to jail.
Yes. But then they're going to know it's you. So here's the
No,
problem.
like nobody knows. They can't prove that a
No,
Freaky
but
Friday
Patrick
situation
Mahomes
happened.
is going to. So here's the thing, Brandon. Patrick Mahomes is going to be in your body.
Yeah, but he's not going to know that I'm doing a crime.
Yeah, he's going to be in your body, and Jess is going to be there, and he's like, "Hi, Brandon Perna," and because that's how I imagine Jess greets you in the mornings, like, "Good morning,
Hello,
Brandon
Perna, my
Hello,
husband.
Brandon Perna of
Yeah.
That's Good Sports, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And Carmy's like, "Hello, Perna, father." I mean, I
Yeah,
think
but
he's
he's not going to know what I'm doing as him in those moments.
He's going to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I see, like, I do my crime before the Super Bowl.
So what if Patrick Mahomes then goes to the police station and goes, "Right now, Brandon Perna has taken over my body and is in the Super Bowl."
Go for it. What fucking police station's going to believe that?
It's a good call.
I mean, they might put me in the, like, I might be going to get some
gonna throw
mental
you in jail.
evaluations.
They're going to throw you in jail. Then Patrick Mahomes is going to be in jail, and then you're going to be in jail together, and then you're going to have
I'm
to
going to
work.
be in the mental hospital, not jail. And I
That's
think,
fair.
like, given enough time, I can prove that I'm still sane.
That's true.
God, I don't know what crime I'm going to commit, though, because, like, I don't want to hurt somebody else.
No.
Patrick Mahomes.
Just their career.
Yeah, but he's got to be in jail. Like, what's the like the most petty crime you can do that carries the longest prison sentence?
Weed.
Like, because all I really need him to be in jail for is, I don't know, like 15 years. Because then his career's done. It's got to be. Let's make it safe. 20 years. 20 years. I get him in jail for 20 years. Boom.
Just a little, a quick 20.
Yeah.
Can't you just settle for house arrest?
Yeah, as long as he can't play. But I prefer to know he's in jail.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Minimum security. He's doing it's light time. He's like hanging out with the good fella guys and they're slicing the thin garlic, making pasta sauce. It's not the worst.
Can he do a longest yard and like get out of his prison sentence?
Yeah, he can be the best prison quarterback to ever live. That's fine. I won 13 prison Super Bowls. Yeah, I got to figure out what crime that is. That would be the real, like, if I'm him, I might be spending all day just trying to figure out what crime, and then I never actually have time to do it, and then I'm back in my body.
That sounds about right. That sounds a little bit more accurate. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. What if Jess falls in love with Patrick Mahomes as you?
Oh, that's tricky.
Yeah, that now, right? Yeah. And now Carmi, oh my God, Carmi's now a Chiefs fan. Oh no. You haven't thought this through, Brandon. See, here's what I said. You need to blindfold them. You need to set yourself up. I had Johnny Barks. Johnny Barks just going to come on over, right? I'm going to be tied to a chair, blindfolded, so they have no idea who it is. Johnny Barks just going to like hang out, have a good time, play some video games. And then it switches back, and then we're good. They'll never know who it was, you know?
Okay, interesting.
You got to think a little deeper with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who I would do it as outside of this week, because, like, after this week, I don't want to be Mahomes. Not for a fucking second. No, thank you.
But then that's when you go like the GM, maybe the owner of like the Chiefs. You go and then you can make some football moves. Or are you going like world power plays?
I'm going like an experience. Like, is it a day? Are you a day? Is it a week?
Yeah,
How long
it's a day.
Are you in the
Give
body?
it a day. Give it a day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. As you get older, you don't have any people you really idolize anymore.
Life is
like,
just,
we're all the same.
Everybody's it's just people, and everyone's.
They gotta like honestly like staying out late, partying. Like that sounds tiring.
Boomerang.
It's like might have a hangover the next day.
Well, no. Oh my God, that's what you could do the night before. Brandon, you could beat Patrick Mahomes. You get super drunk, and I mean super drunk. You are hungover for the next day. You urinate in public. Boom. Get thrown a little jail time, and then you switch back. You don't have a hangover. Patrick Mahomes a hungover for the Super Bowl, and he urinated in public.
Oh yeah, what if I get him just so drunk that he can't even get out of bed the next day? Huh. Interesting.
It works.
Cool. If the Niners lose the Super Bowl, are they in the what the F are we supposed to do situation like the Bills? No, they are not.
That's what I know. Boop, boop.
Yeah,
Hunt.
We're gonna break this down. I made a tier for us so we can kind of like shift through it a little bit. But before
Johnny John.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
You know Appreciate what? Actually, I think I would find a professional skateboarder that I wanna.
Tony Hawk.
No, he's too old. Like I want a guy right now in his prime, so I can just go out and fucking shred for a day.
It sounds like the plot of Get Out. It's like, I want to find a young body because I'm an old man. Mind control. So I said,
whoa, did it just happen?
We're going to talk about this. I promise we're going to talk about this. Yeah, because the 49ers, if they wind up losing, it's not going to be the greatest situation.
Yeah.
Won't be the greatest.
No, like a 22-year-old professional skateboarder right now. And I just go out and have a nice sesh. Just relive what I thought I would be.
It's true. I just like, I don't want to do anything bad. I just like want to send the Vikings to a different country. And like Alaska's not a different country, but it's close enough, Like, can I put him on the Russia side?
Ooh, maybe I'd go as Jokic for a day and just be the best basketball player in the league. That would be tight.
That'd be pretty.
Playing in an NBA game and just being good.
But you have the body, but do you have like the skill? Your body, like I think you have like
muscle
the
memory
reflexes and stuff.
Muscle memory.
But I think muscle memory can only do
Does your
so
muscle
much.
memory go with your brain?
That's a good question.
Interesting.
This is just have Mahomes bet on the Super Bowl.
Oh yes,
but he uses GPS. Jason, that might be it. Jason, that might be it. He has to use code GPS though.
And I bet on I bet on the Chiefs to lose, and they do lose, but I make. Well,
no, then
Jason, you're an evil genius, man.
There you go. There's layers to that.
Nobody gets hurt there.
Jesus.
Oh, God. He'd be kicked out of the league forever, dude.
Well, we don't want to hurt anybody. So I think it's just, exactly. Yeah. I don't want to hurt anyone. Just 20 years. Just like a quick 20. Just a quick 20.
Oh, yes. That is so smart. Why can't I think of that?
Yeah. You just go to the Chiefs facilities. And you just like sit there and you're just like over, under. That's it.
Hey, check it out right now. Speaking of the Super Bowl, Underdog Fantasy, $1 million airdrop. What's this? $1 million airdrop unlocked for the big game.
I'll disclaim you. Everybody wants to get disclaimed. Oops, sorry. I didn't realize that would go away.
Yeah. Right now, Underdog doing $1 million giveaway on Super Bowl Sunday. So if you already have an Underdog account, you're already qualified. That's all you got to be. Just got to be signed up at Underdog. So if you've been thinking about signing up, now's a good time to do it because they're doing $1 million giveaway on the Super Bowl. Also, got a Patty Mahomes special. Ooh, that would also be funny if I was Mahomes. I don't get my 0.5 yard total if I'm in his body.
Oh,
I run backwards, take lots of sacks, negative yardage. So if you believe in Freaky Friday situations, you might consider the lower on this bonus, guys.
Brandon, please, if Mahomes struggles for whatever reason during the Super Bowl, like, we need to clip this conversation and just be like, it's Brandon Perna. Like, he's gone beyond cursing now. He has now possessed his body.
He uncharacteristically has a bad game for the first time in his career.
He just throws like 5 interceptions, no touchdowns, 8 sacks.
Dude, I've done it before where I like try to find like a bad Patrick Mahomes game. And it's just like, man, I would take a lot of these games as a Broncos fan.
There was that game a few years ago when he played against Washington, and it was like that first half he was like really bad, and he like really struggled. And then the second half he was fine, and he wound up like winning the game.
Dude, I think he threw 2 or 3 picks against the Broncos and still won. It's just ridiculous.
It's insanity.
There you go.
Disclaimed.
Underdog. Use our code GPS when you sign up. They have the $1 million giveaway. Dang, we both sneezed today. The Mahomes special for the big game. Of course, in Colorado, we got the new Pick'ems champions. I already rocked a couple Pick'ems. We'll revisit those on Friday once the game gets a little bit closer. Pick'ems, those Pick'em champions also available in Tennessee. Okay, so those are 2 new states. 2 new states. And Pick'em champions are peer-to-peer. So you're playing against a group. You got to win that group. If you have the best win totals, then you get a share of the prize.
What if you don't have any peers?
Well, and you bet a Freaky Friday into somebody who can help you make friends.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they do. I don't think I think the one thing the Bears wouldn't do, I don't think they're picking Marvin Harrison first. I don't think they do that. If they did, that's dumb.
Yeah, because you identify which team is gonna get up to. It's like either the Patriots or the Commanders will make that move to get to number 1.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a great question. If you were Caleb Williams, what team you want to go to? So you're ready to go Chicago, Washington, or the Patriots? Ooh, the part of me says the Patriots because like they're a well-run organization, and the Bears. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get. I think that he could do well in Chicago if everything goes right, but Washington's just such an unknown right now. Like that's that you just don't know what you have with the new ownership. You don't know. You know how Dan Quinn's going to do. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury being their OC, I think is an attractive enough offer to be like, okay, I want to go where there's that familiarity.
I think that's the selling point. If you're Caleb Williams, you know him and you know he's going to do. You have that relationship, and I think that goes a long way when you are, in your early 20s heading into the NFL. God damn it!
That's exactly how you would do it.
What?
This is how you do it. Friday. Like, hello, I have Patrick Mahomes. As you can see, the date and time.
Here is me betting on my team, the Kansas City Chiefs, hailing from Missouri, Kansas, I say, to lose the Super Bowl to the San Francisco 49ers.
you also don't have to send anyone to jail, Brandon.
Also, I do not like Taylor Swift as a musical artist.
That's what I was gonna say. You just have to say, you know what? I don't think she should have won Album of the Year.
My brother is a saint.
Done.
My brother is a saint.
It's done. It's done. So I'm saying there's other ways that you could go around this and you could still crush. Now, again, when Patrick Mahomes sees that, you know he's going to ruin your life, right? Like he's going to log on to That's Good Sports and he is just going, the Chiefs belt is already there. And it's just going to be, he's going to burn it all down.
Whatever. It'll probably help my channel. Whatever he does to destroy it, I honestly think it would end up helping it.
What if he just deleted it?
Now that would, well, I doubt he even knows how to get into YouTube. You know what I mean?
He would call
These quarterbacks are so not.
If he knows Travis Kelce, what if he calls Travis Kelce and he's like, bro, I know it's going to sound weird, but there was a Freaky Friday and now I'm in Colorado and this guy, Brandon Perna, like, go stop me. Then you get tackled by Travis Kelce.
I doubt he even would remember Travis's phone number. Like, do you remember anybody's phone numbers?
Yeah, I do.
Weird.
It's just the age that I grew up in. You should know what.
I don't know. I don't know Jess's phone number.
Yeah, that doesn't seem good. That seems
just
like in
Jess
case of emergency.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that's.
He's not going to remember Travis. Oh God, he'd have my phone.
I feel like
who's he calling? He might call you.
That'd be awesome. I get to talk to Patrick. Now, does he have your voice too, or are you going to call me and say like, "Hey Tom"?
He'll be like,
Brandon.
You won't believe it's me if that happens.
No, I would. I would believe that. Like, you could call me tomorrow and be like, I Freaky Friday with Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, all right, buddy, what do you need?
How can I help?
I got you. That's it. Accurate.
All right.
Look at us getting to the actual show title. Come on. That's accurate, Jonathan.
Yeah,
it's true.
Let's start with Washington because we were just talking about Kingsbury. Ha 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 ha.
I could help.
Bros, now that I got stats, you're going to see a new man.
All right. So, I love how you made an entire tier that just with no context, many holes.
Many holes.
Yep.
All right, here. So Washington needs a QB. They do. But they are currently also in draft and cap heaven. The Commanders right now heading into this season have $83 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're number one. So they can spend in free agency.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
They can get their quarterback. They can improve their team quite a bit. And they're going to need to because they traded away some pieces, mainly Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
To the Bears. Now, so Caleb Williams, Kingsbury, there's a relationship there. But do any of us actually think Cliff Kingsbury is going to be a top 10 offensive coordinator in the National Football League? And then did you see that other report that Ben Johnson was turned off by the Commanders?
I really want to talk about the Ben Johnson report because, I actually want to spend some time on the Commanders here because, they are one of the most interesting teams. Because, like you said, on paper everything looks good. First of all, there's no more Dan Snyder, so already you're already having a Hall of Fame offseason. But you have really high draft pick, top 3 draft pick. You have the cap space you're talking about. It's just that. As we were talking, the ownership is, we don't know. We don't know how they're going to do. And to what you're talking about, there's weird reports going on that Ben Johnson, that whole story is weird.
I think it's them trying to counter the negative Ben Johnson reports a little bit.
Yeah, because Ben Johnson basically texted the Commanders while they were en route to Michigan saying hey, it's not going to work out. There was reports that Ben Johnson didn't interview very well with the Commanders. There's reports that Ben Johnson was turned off by the Commanders ownership because they were basketball guys. And I have no idea what actually transpired. But as a Commanders fan, I could understand some trepidation going, we just don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I think like the line from that report, and again, don't know if it's true, is that Ben Johnson, they were basketball guys, but he thought that they were too confident in their football opinions
Yeah.
without like really understanding it.
Having that
And
experience.
And like, to be fair to Ben Johnson there, I think Washington fans were excited to get rid of Dan Snyder, but the Harris group wasn't necessarily exactly what they may have perceived as the best option to run the team. It's an improvement, don't get me wrong, but they run the Sixers, right? And
I think, again, them getting Cliff Kingsbury, and to kind of answer this question too, I have to imagine that, I mean, listen, the Raiders were going to sign him, right? And like it seemed like that was a home run. And then Cliff Kingsbury's like, nah, never mind. We're going to the Commanders.
yeah.
Do you think, because in order to do that, because Cliff Kingsbury kind of left the NFL, I don't want to say like in disgrace, but like it wasn't a nice exit, right? It was like went to Thailand, left the Cardinals. Like that did not work out well, especially because going into the league, Cliff Kingsbury was like hailed as like this offensive genius, and that like he is going to bring this insane like high flying offense to the NFL, and it just never really translated to that.
Yeah. He just worked with Pat Mahomes. Like, I could have coached that guy.
I think now, in my opinion, you don't burn that bridge with the Raiders unless you know, like with the Commanders, either they got an insane offer, right? Like he's getting thrown like a ton of money, or they're basically saying like, we're going to get Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Because in that sense, you're reunited with Caleb Williams. The Commanders have the arsenal that they want. Like they have the capital. They can trade. It's not that outrageous. The Bears would love it because they just moved down a spot if they weren't going to draft Caleb Williams already. It just seems like I don't want to be the speculation guy. I don't understand why Cliff Kingsbury would turn it down in Vegas unless it was to go get that quarterback that he wanted to work with.
You don't have like, I mean, maybe you're a little bit high on Aiden O'Connell and or one of the guys the Raiders could possibly get in the draft.
Yeah.
But as just an offensive coordinator, Washington's way more appealing than the Raiders because of where they pick. And that like, and don't get me wrong, like if I were an OC, I would probably rather coach for Antonio Pierce than Dan Quinn. Because I've seen Dan Quinn lose a Super Bowl in horrific fashion with one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. So I'm going to take the shot with the guy who's got a higher ceiling, in my opinion. But knowing I could get my guy from USC, yeah. Hell yeah, easy. Go to Washington.
I mean, if I'm the owners of the Commanders, I'm saying we let the football guys like run the show because that's what it should be.
Yeah.
You know, like it is again, like you could get more experience as you go along and just understanding more. And I'm sure that they're trying to understand more this entire offseason and last season. But the Commanders are in a position that if they strike gold in this draft, they are set up for a while. Like they're going to look pretty good. Now, of course, like they got to rebuild that defense a bit, you know, like getting rid of Chase Young and Montez Sweat. They got to fill some holes. But if they can get their franchise guy and build around him, they're looking good. And again, Chicago, if they weren't going to take Caleb Williams, this is fantastic for them because they just go, sure, we'll move down, give us your draft picks.
Yeah.
And have a nice
And if Washington can stay put and let's just like not even Caleb Williams. If they can go with Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whoever they like at 2, like they really like those guys. So they take one of them. And they keep their second round pick in a deep class for tackle help, like and improve their offensive line in those first 2 picks. Like, go ahead and do that too. They're in a win-win situation. Again, the $83 million in cap space, they can sign whatever. Like if they want offensive line help, they can do it through free agency. If they want some defensive help, they can add that through free agency before they even get to the draft.
I think I would not be surprised we see like mid-March, you're going to see the trade. But the thing is
that draft spot. Yeah, it probably happens earlier if Chicago is going to deal it.
So here's the other thing, though. Makes sense. Here's the other thing, though, that's interesting. The Bears, like, if you're the Bears, I don't think you've promised anything to the Commanders, right? There's probably like been like unless the Commanders like, hey, we're willing to give you like a second round pick this year, next year's first round, and like, something else. Because there are other teams I think would trade the farm to move up to number 1. So like that could also be an issue where the Commanders be like, yeah, we're going to put together this amazing offer, but there is always a possibility of another team swooping in and being like, never mind, we're going to take him. And then you just have Cliff Kingsbury as your offensive coordinator without Caleb Williams. It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
All right. That's too dark.
Yeah. I mean, the new coach thing is going to be, it's weird. It's basically like a new organization is Washington. And they have pieces there that are cool. It's just, yeah, it's going to be tough. More tears.
Okay. All right. So teams that are in a good spot, I think, heading into
let's go Divine. Oh, I'll rank the Vikings
next year. Well, easy.
I got you.
You're
okay.
Dumb. You're dumb team.
Yeah, there we go.
You're in a good spot. That's easy.
There we go.
Let me get the cap hell. All right, so I'm just going to put the bottom like the teams who are 25 million or over caps right now. Okay, so we got the
definitely.
Broncos are 25 million over. You got the Chargers.
Put the Saints in there. It's every single year. So,
dude, they have literally 82 million. So they are in the worst cap spot.
Here's the thing, real quick. The Saints are in this like every single year and they get out of it. But this is also why the Saints are in cap hell. And like, they're also not doing that because they are they get out of it. And it's like, oh, cap isn't real. No, it is. Like you feel the restraints on that team.
They figure it out, but they never put themselves to be in an advantageous position the following season, right?
You're always like
making up for what you did.
Yeah, they need to. It needs to get burnt down.
So these teams all have to make something happen. All right. Now the Broncos are in a really luxurious position where they are in cap hell. They are overpaying a quarterback, and they need a quarterback, Tom. So actually, I guess I got to make a new one.
Just
for
like
them.
3 layers of hell.
Yes, thank you. It's exactly what I'm doing.
3 layers of hell.
Hell trifecta.
There it is. There it is.
And actually, we're gonna move this down.
LV, I don't think that'd be a bad move. If they want Marvin Harrison Jr., Bears move down to 2, then someone trades it that, like, if let's just say it's the Patriots, then you rock with that and you go get Harrison Jr. Have a nice day.
So there's like very little optimism for, I think, the current iteration of the Denver Broncos for 2024.
Yeah.
Sorry, Broncos fans. That's how I feel.
Right. Panthers are in rebuild, right? Yeah, the Chiefs are fine.
Chiefs are fine. Carolina Panthers, no hope for 2024. Yeah, we'll say in rebuild because there's a little bit of hope because if they win like 5 games and they say, look, Bryce Young showed improvement.
Exactly.
And they're like, okay, let's fill out the rest of the holes and see what happens.
Like they're just in pure rebuild mode.
Yeah.
Now, of course, not having, the first overall pick sucks, but you're just going to be rebuilding.
I'm going to throw the Steelers in need quarterback.
I think that's fair. Just because we don't know what they're going to do at that position.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think the Lions are good.
Yep. Mine's good.
Yep.
Now, see, a lot of people are worried about the 49ers if they lose. What does that mean? Like, losing the Super Bowl sucks.
Yeah.
But you're in a pretty good spot still, San Francisco, because you got Brock Purdy. It's fair to say he is 100% your guy at quarterback moving forward. I'm sure they'll extend him this offseason. I don't know how that affects the Niners cap situation. Let me see if they've got any crazy free agents.
Right? That's what I'm looking at right now. It's Randy Gregory, Chase Young, Kinlaw is up there. I didn't even realize that Farrell was on there.
Gregory's not they just cut Gregory.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be gone. Chase Young, they'll have to make a decision on.
And at this moment, I don't even know if he's going to be back.
Is there going to be a Blop 10 this week? Nico wants to know.
After the Super Bowl?
There you go.
It'll probably be like Blop 5 again. Like, we only got one game. How many blops can we fit in? But Jets video today and maybe a special power rankings type-ish video tomorrow.
Ooh, okay. But
Based
I think
on
it's
specifics.
more of just because Brandon, of course, we're talking about Brandon Ayuk. Let's see. He's got one more year, yeah?
Yeah.
Because he's 2024. But the 49ers are already talking about a contract with him.
Yeah,
'cause,
they're
like he'd be paid if they don't work out a contract, basically like it's like gonna be like $14 million. He'd be the 16th highest paid receiver, but they're gonna make him they'll do something with him.
Yeah, they're in a fine spot right now, actually.
I just think it's more of like if the 49ers don't win, it's like what else could you need? You know? Like what is going to get you over the hump? You got the 1 seed. You did like you're just like
They're over the
that's
hump.
more
They
the
got to the
issue.
Super Bowl.
But that's not the hump for them. They've gotten to the Super Bowl before. They just can't win one.
I mean, they got to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G, and he closed his eyes when he was throwing. So if Brock Purdy plays like shit in the Super Bowl, then they've got a hump. Like I know we put so much emphasis on winning that game, and I get it. You got to get there. You got to perform. But like what they're looking at to improve, regardless of the position you're talking about, unless it's quarterback, it's like, oh yeah, we can upgrade we can find a receiver in the draft. We can find a safety or a corner. We can find these pieces and be okay. I just don't think it would be something like we're not going to, I mean, the 49ers would have to play so poorly in this game for me to be like, uh-oh, the Super Bowl hangover is going to be rough for that team.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, I think they're so close. I think they're good.
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it. Chef, what a fake! Whoop! For the kitty. If I didn't have the Packers Broncos, who would you cheer for? The end. I mean, again, I like the Bills and I like the Bengals, but
Bills Lions, baby.
Yeah, no, it's Packers all
Bills,
the way
Lions.
down.
Grossi posse. Grossi pousi.
Appreciate you, Chef. Okay, Bills are also in another, like, they're in a double hell because, like, they just, dude, like, the Bills need to figure it out because they're a team that just seems like they're stuck in neutral. Like, they fought back, they got this far, they're always getting injured, and then, like, they get what they wanted, they get the 2 seed, it kind of all lines up for them, and they still can't beat the freaking Chiefs, man. Like, I just don't, like, you're talking about Stephon Diggs, you're talking about the defense, because Von Miller is, you know, that contract does not look good.
Yeah, they got a, I mean, let's see here, 2024. If they just cut Von Miller right now, they have $32 million in dead cap.
Wouldn't be surprised if Chase is gone. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Bills need a great draft. They're gonna have to restructure, and they're like cap hell. Where were they at here? I just had them up. Cap tracker. They are second worst, 51 million over the cap. And Miami is also 51 million over the cap. Mm-hmm. So it feels like both Buffalo and Miami, and I think they're in the exact situation, except for Buffalo. You know, 100% Josh is your guy.
Yeah.
It feels like they push their pieces for this to be the season they succeed.
Yes.
And the Bills underachieved, even though like things started out, they didn't have the early start they really needed. They clawed their way back into it. And then they like you said, they lose the Chiefs. The Dolphins, they were so hot. And then the second half of the season just felt like a disappointment for Miami. And I think Miami's in a worse situation than Buffalo heading into this offseason.
I'd agree with that. It's just like it's rough. I mean, Miami, this is their year. Like if they don't do it this year, like this upcoming season, people are going to lose their jobs. Like it's going to get rough.
And you've got let's see here.
Right now, I put the Arizona Cardinals in draft and cap heaven because I think they're top 10. I think they're 8. No, I'm sorry, they're 9. Number 9 in most cap space. They got plenty of. They got 45 mil, and they have the 4th overall pick. Like I know that they have a lot of holes they need to fix. They need a wide receiver. They need to address the secondary. Like they have things they need to fix, but they're gonna have options.
And here's Miami's problem. They've got Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb both coming back from serious injury.
Mm-hmm.
Chubb, he injured his knee so late, like he'll be lucky to be ready to go like late next season. When will Phillips be ready to go? Your 2 edge rushers are question marks. And Phillips he's in his last season on his rookie deal. So you're going to have to make a contract decision on him, and he might play, I don't know, half a season optimistically. Maybe it's one of those things where he heals super quickly. Those are like 2 of your most important players on defense, and you might not have them next season. Who else? Where's Van Ginkel? Where's his contract situation? Because he also got hurt late. Dolphins.
It's a make or break year.
I'm
Because
gonna
like
put
Tua,
they're in many holes too, depending on injury situation.
Yeah, this was the year where they needed to make it happen.
They did.
Yeah, I put the Cardinals in draft and cap heaven because they have the 4th overall, 9th most cap space, and they also have the Texans draft pick, which is the 27th, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
The Cardinals.
I'm gonna put the Bengals in good.
It's their free agents, right? That's the big concern.
They got to pay T. Higgins. They need a good draft.
DJ Reader, Tyler Boyd.
Here's a
Woozier.
Here we go.
I'd be a little bit concerned. Yeah, T. Higgins is on there too.
Oops. Add row below.
More
solid. Tiers. Need a solid offseason to keep afloat.
Yeah, I think so.
They need solid offseason. That's a combo of just smart free agency, good draft.
You wanted to write not Anita, but
need solid offseason.
Got it.
Okay. I think the Texans need a solid offseason. Okay.
I think they're good though. Like they're good in terms of just as long as, Tank Dell comes back and is healthy, they do need to have a solid offseason, but that's just going to put them over the top. Like, I think they're in a great position.
Let me see. Right now, hold on. The Texans have... Oh, my God. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Counting.
14,
Counting.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25 unrestricted free agents.
Okay, so a few.
So, because what they did and what they've done is they signed a ton of guys with short contracts.
Yep.
And not all of those guys are like super high impact players, but they've got to go into this free agency period and identify some guys that they can keep around who are going to be impactful. And where are they in the cap? They've got the 5th most cap space.
They're rocking, dude.
A couple of your splash signings. Get your good draft. But yeah, need solid offseason. I think these are teams where there's no questions about quarterback, and you're looking at just a couple roster holes. Ravens. I think they need a solid offseason just to make up for their losing Mike McDonald.
I agree with that. Like, they're good. Like, they're going to be fine. It's just, like, they need to fill some holes.
Yeah.
I agree. Good God.
Here.
Okay, would you put the Jets in the hell trifecta?
Sure. I'll put them anywhere.
Because they have the draft picks, right? I don't know if they're in trifecta. That might be a little bit too much.
They've got many holes, let's be honest.
They do. They have the holes.
Offensive line is terrible.
Offensive line's not great. They need to upgrade.
Who are your playmakers catching the ball outside of Garrett Wilson?
Yeah.
Can Aaron Rodgers stay healthy? Like, well, you can't. If you're the Jets, you cannot assume Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy for a full season at his age. He was hurt last year. He was hurt the year before. Played through injuries with the Packers. We gave him a lot of credit for doing it, but that's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I think they got many holes.
Yeah.
If Rodgers plays all year, they will be better, but they do have holes.
I agree.
Browns, easy. Overpaying quarterback.
That's easy. Yeah. Yeah.
I can laugh at Cleveland because you're in the same spot as us, idiots.
Cardinals, I'd put them in draft and cap heaven, second to the left. There you go.
Yeah. The fact they're going to rock with Kyler, we assume.
I think the Colts are in a really good position.
Ooh, yeah.
The Colts are in a good position.
Solid offseason.
Yep.
Give them a solid offseason, baby.
And you're rocking.
Dude, Anthony Richardson is going to be, like, that's one of the most intriguing storylines for me once we get to when the season starts. Like, that's a guy I just want to watch play.
I want to watch such a small sample size. We just didn't really get to see what he could do. I mean, there's, like, the glimpses, right? We're like, okay. Now you just hope that...
knowing how good the Eagles were, with Jalen Hurts running the offense and Shane Steichen orchestrating it, and I think like Anthony Richardson has potential to be better than Jalen Hurts, at least equivalent. Like they're just going to be a fun team.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, speaking of, where the hell do you even put the Eagles?
Oh my God.
Like, where do you even begin? Oh, the UFL schedule got released. There you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
Ooh.
Richardson definitely showed those flashes. Like, I'm excited, like, probably, like, just to see him.
Yeah, I guess I'd put need solid offseason.
Yeah. It's weird.
Because, like, if we go back to last post-draft era, we're like, Eagles just nailed another draft.
Yes.
They just crushed the draft. And don't get me wrong, like Jalen Carter was good. He was very good early.
Mm-hmm.
But like they sputtered for whatever reason. Is Jason Kelce coming back? If he doesn't, then they got a big hole on their offensive line.
Because I think because like I kind of agree here. I don't know if Kellen Moore is that guy. That we're going to see about that. Fangio, like they got their coordinators. Is it a sense of like they just needed better coordinators? Because if so, then they're going to be fine. There's going to be guys that they're going to need to replace. But yeah, I agree with the solid offseason.
Yeah. I mean, you better hope those are your coaches.
You better if that's the only reason why, or one of the main reasons why, then they'll be all right.
Yeah.
If it's deeper than that, then it's going to be a problem.
And I'm more optimistic that their defense can be much improved by the coordinator changes.
Yeah.
Offense might be a little bit better. Who knows? Like their offense was pretty good at times through last season. So I don't think like that problem was as huge. So we'll see.
Falcons, I agree. That need a QB.
Need a QB, Atlanta.
Bears, I would just put them under many holes. But they also need a QB potentially. But like they also need a few things.
Yeah, that's fair.
So also, that's cool. St. Louis is going to be there. That's nice for the UFL championship. Yeah. That's cool.
Nice.
They deserve
that. The Battle Hawk alum.
Rams, I completely agree, is good. Yep.
They're in a great spot.
They got their first round pick again.
They might be in one of the best spots, honestly.
Titans
picking at 19. They kind of overachieved this year. As long as Aaron Donald comes back, they're good. What about the Titans?
Do you put them just in rebuild? Because I feel like that's they're just going to be in rebuild.
Yeah, 2 new coaches, both rebuild. You think you got your quarterback in both spots?
Yeah.
Buccaneers currently need QB. They need to sign Baker Mayfield. If you don't, then where are you at?
They need to also figure out like what they're doing with Mike Evans and things like that. There's a few gaps that they're gonna do. They overachieved,
Yes.
and they can keep that going. Like a lot of people didn't expect them to even get to the playoffs. They did, and now it's just about okay. Let's see. I did not see that Kraft was at the Grammys. I did not.
Giants need a QE. Sorry.
Giants definitely need a quarterback, and you better pray that Bryant. Oh man, because that talk about weird off seasons, right? With Wink Martindale and freaking Brian Dable and issues there. You better hope that Dable's the guy, because life comes pretty fast.
Better hope. I think
That's
Dable's the dude. I think they'll be all right in terms of coaching, but
here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
sold on Dan Jones.
They need a quarterback, but they need receivers still. Like they do.
Yes, 100%. This is a good draft to get receiver though,
and they're really overpaying a QB. I don't know. Giants might be in a hell trifecta because they need to make the O-line better. They need receivers. They need a QB. I mean, it's a lot.
Where are they at with? Let's see here.
We want Cody, baby. We want Cody.
What's their cap at?
Give me Cody.
They're in the surplus. They're at 26 million in cap.
Hey, let's go, Rose. Woo!
So they're not trifecta.
Fake for the kitty.
Hell.
Let's go. Let's go.
We're gonna
do a bracket. Hound us until we remember. We're gonna do a bracket in the offseason about hottest head coaches.
Oh,
Perna and I are gonna make it happen.
We're gonna do that for sure.
And I appreciate you. Thank you and everybody who voted for Fan of the Year. I appreciate you. We gonna see, baby. We gonna see. And of course.
Oh wow, is that a pancreas?
Is that a pancreas?
Boom. See, the problem with the Giants needing a receiver is you've got the Bears, who are kind of a wild card. You know, they can take Marvin Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
And then drafting before the Giants, the Cardinals and the Chargers. And I easily say both of those teams are going to want to draft a receiver.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I can kind of agree with that. The Buccaneers kind of do need a solid offseason.
yeah, they need QB and solid offseason.
Yeah. I go.
So you can lump re-signing Baker is part of your solid offseason.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But they also have the Canales leaving. That's another hole we're uncertain about. What about the Seahawks? No hope. Sorry, Seattle.
No. You
Just
can't
kidding,
do that
guys.
just because you don't like them, because otherwise the Vikings would be there in every day. No, Seahawks are. I think they're another one. They need another solid offseason, but they're like in a good position. I like McDonald going over there.
Yeah. We got to have a
he'll be
hope
back.
team. Who's a no hope? We don't have a single team for no hope.
I mean, if you're going to throw a no hope team in there, I mean, I think we just talked about the Panthers winning 5 games and that would be successful. So, I mean, they could fit that bill.
Yeah, I just don't want to do that to the Panthers.
Eric Bieniemy, not getting. What is going to go on with Eric Bieniemy? I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a weird situation. I don't know if he's ever going to get a shot.
Patriots need a quarterback. That's their big.
Yes, they need a quarterback. They need receivers. They need to dress O-line too. Like they basically need to revamp that entire offense.
Yeah.
But,
Dude, the rumors here in Denver now are that Sean Payton was infatuated with Mac Jones in that draft, that he loved Mac Jones. So now like my local chatter is, would the Broncos make a move for Mac Jones? Cool.
Oh, no.
I swear to God, like if this
you
team
get Mac Jones, dude, I think that might break you because you do not like
give me
Mac
Russell
Jones.
Wilson again, dear God, like we're gonna pay him not to play and bring in Mac Jones, like fuck off, like just keep Russ. He is not that much worse than those dudes. He might not be exactly who you want, but fudge my life if that happens. Now I'll embrace Mac Jones if I have to. I will be like, he is the dirtiest quarterback in the league. That's who we are. That's our angle now. We're the dirtiest team alive. Let's just sign Greg Williams too. Let's just go all in on being villains. And not good villains. Just like we're petty.
Chiefs fans hearing this are like, oh, the Broncos might make a move for Mac Jones. Yeah. And they're just like, oh yeah, we're playing our back-to-back Super Bowl again, like potentially win another one. They're just like, you guys go.
I just
Bless their
at this
heart.
point, unless the Broncos are good, just I hope Justin Herbert gives the Chiefs hell. That's all I can root for. Just give them hell, Justin Herbert.
Just give him hell. Just give him
Please.
hell.
You know what, Cowboys? No hope.
No, they're
There we
not.
go.
No hope.
No
They
hope,
need a-
Dallas.
They need a solid offseason, though,
Where's their cap?
because they're gonna have to do stuff with Dak.
Oh yeah, they got to make cap room. They're negative
Dirty
14.
Dad.
All right, a solid off season for the Cowboys.
Um.
Vikings currently need a quarterback, right? They got to sign Kirky Cousins.
Yeah, they do need a quarterback.
And they we saw their defense get better. They've got the weapons. They're a sneaky team if Cousins comes back.
Yeah.
Fudge. Raiders need
We'll
a QB.
Maybe just as an OC though, and not just like as a head coach. Maybe he'll do better, but I can definitely understand the trepidation.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
Raiders
Hold
need
on.
a quarterback.
I've got the perfect one for Jacksonville.
Okay. So they're gonna get their own.
Literally no clue.
That's fair. I mean, the Jaguars are in such they need to figure out what they're gonna do with Calvin Ridley, right? They need to figure out if their coaching personnel is the personnel that should be there. You could look at offensive line. There are a number of things that you don't know what the hell is going on because like they collapsed. It was pretty bad. It's gonna be a rough offseason for them. Like in terms of just like trying to figure out what the hell went wrong.
Yeah. I like Trevor Lawrence, and I really thought this was going to be his full-blown breakout season. And he did some nice things, but not enough to he wasn't elevating the team enough to make them super dangerous late. They missed the playoffs. Just dang. They underachieved. They underachieved.
Yeah,
and I want the Jaggies to be good.
They did.
Yeah, see? We don't know. We just don't know.
Well, yeah, I agree. Giants could be moved down to a lot of holes, but they also need a quarterback. But then again, so do the Bears.
Fine, I'll put them in many holes, knowing one of those holes is QB.
Is QB
Possibly.
Yeah. So if you had to pick one of these teams that you would put in no hope, you just go, there's no shot that they are going to be really good this year. Are the Panthers the easiest one just because, as we talked about, a 5-win season and just some no, Brandon, it's not who you want. It's who you think.
Well, if Patty Mahomes is in jail.
If you Freaky Friday with...
Freaky Friday.
All right, so some people are saying Saints, Washington, Titans, Panthers. Titans, I could see having a rough time. It just depends if Levis is going to be the guy.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one...
I mean, I'll fuck it.
I mean,
now, dude,
that kind of
if I'm
works.
being honest,
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
We have not made an official decision on Russell Wilson. We're not in a position to really draft the next dude. We're talking about Mac Jones. Our team is not horrible, but are we another 7-win team and we'll be in the exact same position next year? No, don't like. I really, but you're asking no hope. You're talking about where you should be, right? Where your team should be next year.
Yeah, you could be number one pick. I don't think the
Broncos should be in the playoffs, but they could be bad enough to be at the number one pick. Tom, you're not off. This is the time of year too where I start to feel optimistic. I'm okay. Last year we got Sean Payton's ooh, he's gonna fix Russ. He's gonna fix Russ. And he did a little bit. Russ was better. But we hired Vance Joseph, and it took 5 weeks before we figured out how to even play defense.
Yeah.
So shit. Yeah, it's
I will agree with that. So Cameron, that's a good point. The Saints are in a weird spot too, where they're in legit cap hell they have been, but they also need a quarterback. They need so many things on that offense.
Boom. No hope.
And I don't know if they're necessarily going to get that this year.
Yeah.
They could have the greatest offseason ever, and they're still going to be all right. They legitimately need They do need O-line.
Derek
need
Carr
to
is
burn
Kirk
it down.
Cousins without the upside. Like, he's been in the league too long where he's like Russ, man. Like, what's he going to do? How is he going to get you over the hump?
Because Derek Carr, I think you could bring in, like, here you go. If you brought Derek, and I know this would be a lot of QBs, if you brought him into the 49ers, I think you're rocking, right? Because they have the team around him. The Saints don't have the team around them. The defense is good, right? I don't think it's great or excellent anymore, but it's good. And then you have the offense where you have Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, right, who's getting a bit older. And Jamal Williams, you brought him in. He had the most rushing touchdowns. He had one, right? And that was because they went off script. So
they were never on the goal line.
I think it's their offense is not ideal. Yeah, Shaheed is good. Shaheed.
Yeah, he had a lot of it. He had the weapons. They should have been. Their offense should have been fun.
They should have won the division.
Yeah.
But now, like, you're looking at this and going, I don't think they're going to be like number one overall pick bad, because I think they have enough talent on that roster. But it is concerning.
If you change the parameters of no hope, then yeah, Broncos and Saints make a lot of sense. And honestly, I would even throw the Jets there.
If Rodgers comes out, he's going to hide a lot of their mistakes. But if he goes down again or he doesn't play well,
I just don't think I can rely on Rodgers finishing next season.
They are screwed. Again, this is what we've been talking about. The teams that are in the most trouble if they don't have the year. The Cowboys are on that list. The Jaguars are on that list. The Jets are on that list. The Browns, they're already in trouble. But
like, I think the Cowboys will be fine. They will get back to the playoffs. And what they do in the playoffs, that is the most fair question you can ask about the Dallas Cowboys. What will losing Dan Quinn mean to them and their defense, which was not good in the playoffs? Maybe there's an upgrade there, but say what you want about the Cowboys. There's consistency there. I thought they did improve through the regular season last year. They were a better football team. Dak played well. I think there's reason to be somewhat optimistic as a Cowboys fan. Washington still another year away, I believe, from being competitive. Giants are kind of an X factor in that division, and the Eagles are no longer the juggernaut. So that division is still very winnable for Dallas.
Because they keep on kicking the can down the road. They have all this. This is every year now with the Saints. They have like the worst cap space. Like, they're in the negative. So they do enough. They restructure. They kick cans down the road. And eventually, like, they wind up in the same place. And
they didn't eat it like the Rams did last season. The Rams just ate their cap draft situation. They won the Super Bowl. They were one of the worst Super Bowl defending teams ever. And now they got themselves right. The Saints never do that.
See, no, I think Carr can do fine. But the point is not saying, like, oh, man, the 49ers are going to win more games. Yeah. I'm saying more, he goes to the 49ers, he's on a team where, like, it could make up for his deficiencies. Yeah. He's not on a team right now that can do that.
That wasn't when Derek Carr is knock.
Yeah, that's not a Brock Purdy knock. When Derek Carr is bad, right? If he was bad on the 49ers, well, then they could turn around and be like, well, we have all these amazing, like, skill guys that can kind of make up for it and mask it a little bit. Yeah. That's the point that I made. That's not a Brock Purdy knock. If you watch the show at all, you know that we haven't hated on Brock
49ers fans are a little tormented right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, that ain't a Brock Purdy knock.
And I get it. A lot of people are just right off Purdy. I get it. I feel it.
No, that's not this show. That's not that. I'm saying it's like there's teams that Carr could go and he could be successful. The Saints, it's just they don't have the personnel for it. So that's it.
October, baby.
October 32nd.
I was born on Satan's birthday.
That's the 31st. But, Perna, we went 69 minutes.
Nice.
What do you got coming out today, buddy?
I got a Jets video, assuming I can shoot and edit it.
All right. That's cool. That's cool.
how much of a disaster the Jets are, something like that.
That's fair.
Yeah. What do you got? Anything today?
So
trip?
I'm gonna stream later. Tomorrow I actually put together the North Supercut. It's 5 hours and 40 minutes. I rendered that bad boy last night.
Tight.
So what I wound up doing, that's gonna come out probably tomorrow. There's gonna be a Packers video that's gonna come out the next few days, probably a reaction video too, because I'm just trying to prep for when I leave. So
Nice.
yeah, probably just a stream later, and that's what that will be. Depends on the bean, but mostly yeah.
Yeah, I'll rock beans. Love beans.
Beans are good. Yeah, I would say that. Play calling, not great. Offense, not good. Yeah.
All right.
That-
I
it's
gotta
gonna be
pee.
interesting.
We gotta go. We
Okay,
gotta
I'm so
go.
sorry. Folks,
It's
Perna's
hurt.
gotta pee. We
It's hurt.
appreciate you for tuning in.
No more
But thank you
questions.
so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, who's got to pee. This is GPS. And you have been navigated to the
And
toilet.
you've reached your toilet. You've reached
Yep,
your
there you go,
toilet. You've reached it.